What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're diving in with some Destiny 2 news and updates, and in this video we're going to touch on some Season 15 changes. We do have some Sandbox updates coming up. Bungie are also considering extra changes to GM rewards and particular exotics in the game. They've also teased new Iron Banner weapons, the introduction of Bungie names alongside crossplay and more. Plus we're going to talk about possible new exotic catalysts, and the epilogue for this season. Then some analysis of Witch Queen content and a bunch more in the video. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, but now, let's get into it. Up first, let's talk about some feedback and minor updates from Bungie. Somebody asked, can you give us some sort of TWAB roadmap to the 24th? And DMG replied, some of the key things they're going to be speaking about will be crossplay prep, plus some Sandbox previews, and then maybe some loot teases here and there. And thinking about it, of course, we have things like the new ritual reward, and instead of being a seasonal quest, that's going to be moving to the vendor inventory's ranking system. But then there are other things like stasis weapons, which we currently don't know anything about, but are coming in Season 15. And so there are quite a few possible reveals to make, and we'll have to see what Bungie talk about. Up next though, folks, we're discussing Sleeper Simulant still being a little underwhelming after the buffs that we've seen this season. And when players asked if we could see another buff next season, DMG said, it looks like the Season 15 changes are solidified and coming soon to a TWAB near you, but he adds that there may be an opportunity for an additional minor change in a mid-season patch. So once they have more info, they'll let us know. And I'd say the fact that he's even given that response indicates that Bungie do see it as a weapon that could see some additional tuning even from where it is at the moment. Something else interesting that DMG responded to, but players said, please make adept weapons a guaranteed drop in Grandmasters. DMG said that feedback has been passed along. We don't have a clear answer right now, but folks will be looking into this before GMs go live next season, and they'll let us know once they have more info. So it's possible that change actually could be in the pipeline, or one that they're strongly considering. And when players said that there needs to be a way to target Farm Dreaming City weapons, DMG said at this time, we're unable to make any promises for changes to Dreaming City loot acquisition. While the team had some time to reissue the weapons, it's looking like the team is full steam ahead on future content. So we'll continue to pass the feedback along, but to set clear expectations, no changes are planned in the short term and may not happen for some time. So it's something that we'll possibly see, but he says the focus is very much on future content. Speaking of future content, Bungie touched on the final Iron Banner of the season that's going to be starting next Tuesday, August 3rd. And they confirmed that for Season 15, the Reese Walker shotgun and Archon's Thunder machine gun will still be earnable. But Lord Saladin is also looking to bring a couple of new weapons into the fold. So by the sounds of it, Iron Banner is going to see at least 2 more new weapons next season, which is cool. On top of this though, they spoke about crossplay and a bunch of the feature changes that we're going to see for that new system. So the short and sweet version is that Bungie will be converting everybody's name into an identity that'll be consistent across all platforms that we play on, and this is going to be called the Bungie name. They give us an idea of how this is going to appear in game, and they say as part of the creation of Bungie names, they'll be running all player names through a character filtration process. And first they'll be stripping out all characters that aren't able to be displayed in game or that can't be typed into a player search box via console virtual keyboards. And this means that some of the extended character sets we've supported on Steam will no longer be able to be used. And so we're going to get this overlay in game when we actually sign in on a main platform. But in terms of adding friends in the new system, they say there will be 3 different ways. Firstly, to log into Destiny 2 on a device where you want to turn platform friends into Bungie friends, and then issue requests via the roster screen. Secondly, searching for friends via the player search screen. And thirdly, using Bungie.net Friend Finder, where you can link all of your platforms, and then issue Bungie friend requests to all your platform friends. And they say when we get a Fireteam invite, we'll see an in-game invite notification, and to accept it, we'll need to navigate to the roster screen, and then to the invite section. But the invite screen is also where we'll be able to search for other Guardians, accept friend requests, and clan invites. And we can see right there the little search box to search for Bungie IDs. Then in terms of matchmaking, they say PC players will match with other PC players, console players will match with other console players, and Stadia will be in that console pool. And then fire teams with any combination of PC players and console players will match in the PC player pool. And that's going to be for PvP and competitive modes, but for PvE modes, there will be one global matchmaking pool. So essentially, you'll always play with other people on your platform in competitive content unless you're on console and you join someone on PC. But finally, they give us a crossplay feature roadmap, And so early in Season 15, Bungie Name and Bungie Friends will go live, as well as cross-platform invites, multiplayer and matchmaking, and the player search and social privacy features. But soon after launch, they'll be introducing cross-platform voice chat. Then in the winter, they're going to enable Bungie name changes, so if you don't like the name that you've been given on Bungie.net, we'll be able to change it. But also text chat display will come on console, and text input via USB keyboards will appear on console. And so there is going to be an initial launch, but also a series of updates and tweaks that we're going to see to the system over the course of the first few months. And so overall, I think that's sounding pretty positive right there. Give us any thoughts you have about crossplay, and whether there are any folks on other platforms that you're looking forward to play with starting in Season 15. Something else a few players have touched on, but new catalyst icons appear to have been recently added to some catalysts in the database. Although we should mention, Bungie do have a tendency to update and mess around with catalyst data. However, that doesn't guarantee we'll actually see them in the game, but there is now an icon for the Xenophage, as well as a Divinity Catalyst and one for Monte Carlo. So it's possible we're going to see some updates to catalysts in the next season or so. Now onto the content that we can definitely expect in the remainder of this season. We do still have the Epilogue featured on the calendar for the season to start on August 10th, and this could be a pretty interesting one, as we know firstly, with spoiler alerts, that we are going to see a Last City override mission. And at this point it is quite likely to occur during the listed Epilogue, and there are additional references to a memorial to take place in the tower alongside the Fallen House of Light. So that's going to be pretty interesting, taking place very soon. You can even see that Last City override in the activities tab on Bungie's website. So very much looking forward to that, and I will keep you posted on the weekly resets when that drops. Up next though, supposed leaks continue, and we've had tons of text document leaks. Of course, whether they'll be true is something that we'll have to wait and find out. But this is another supposed leak, a stasis fusion rifle called Done and Dusted. It's interesting because we are getting stasis weapons next season, that much has been confirmed by Bungie, but this one shows a solstice icon, which is pretty odd. However, it's worth pointing out that Bungie have done this in the past, seemingly using season or event icons as placeholders on gear, like we can see from this TWAB image, showing vanilla armor with a Season of the Drifter icon. So could it be real? It's an interesting question. I'd be curious to get any of your thoughts down below, although, no doubt, plenty of the leaked content that we've had over the past couple of months has probably been fake, while at the same time there are some bits in there which certainly seem tangible, and potentially one of the text leaks that we had before the start of this season has been correctly calling out a bunch of future content for quite a few months already. So again, it's going to be interesting to be on Leak Watch and find out whether any of this stuff is correct, and I'm guessing we'll get more details in a couple of weeks' time. But up next, in relation to future content, over on Reddit, Jonathan Anderson spent some time analysing the symbols on upcoming Witch Queen armour, which Bungie have teased. And of course they've shown concept pieces for the armour, plus in-game renders, in what appears to be a new destination a lot of us are speculating is Old Chicago. But nonetheless, the symbols on the armor pieces will almost certainly be of some importance when the expansion drops, and these symbols are linked to ancient alchemy as far as anyone could tell, so the OP on Reddit did recreate a bunch of the symbols with details about their likely meaning. And again, when Witch Queen drops, it could be that these symbols link to new elements or abilities in the game, or of course potentially puzzles, even raid callouts and things like that, so it's interesting to explore. But first we have this icon, which is Saturn and the Mark of Lead. And as a symbol in alchemy, lead is the ruler of the dark, prime matter, which is governed by Saturn, and combined with silver, it's said to create a purified element called philosophic mercury. There is also Mercury and the sulfur mark, and this alchemy symbol represents the mind, as well as a state that can potentially transcend death. And in ancient alchemy, Mercury was known as Quicksilver, and was believed to be able to shift between liquid and solid states. Also believed to be shifting between life and death. And then there is the moon and the platinum mark, and platinum represents the body and physical matter in general, crystallization and condensation. And this element is impure when first collected, but through chemical processes it can be dissolved and purified, which some alchemists compared to the purification process of the human body. And then there is the sun and the mark of gold, one of the 7 metals of alchemy, and it represents the perfection of all matter on any level, including that of the mind, spirit, and soul. And then we have Venus and the mark of copper, and as such the symbol embodies characteristics such as love, balance, feminine beauty, and artistic creativity. And finally, there is the Earth and the mark of the worm, and this actually bears a resemblance to the worm from the Broodhold strike.
and water in terms of alchemy represents high achievement and reward for crafting our best selves. And so it's interesting just to get a brief idea of the potential meaning behind some of these symbols. And again, almost certainly these icons are going to be related to new elements, abilities, or at the very least puzzles and mechanical callouts for content that we're going to see in Witch Queen, and obviously a very strong part of the theme behind the Witch Queen gear in general. And so we'll see if we get any more details about that on August 24th when we get the reveal for Witch Queen. So as always, be sure to give us any thoughts that you may have down in the comment section. For today though guys, that's what we have to round up. So if you've enjoyed the video, why not get subscribed to the channel and turn on notifications so I can keep you posted with everything related to Destiny 2. Also, a like rating down below really does help us out. But otherwise for now, I appreciate you tuning in and hope you guys have an awesome day.